So a big welcome to today's talk about bioresonance and fitness and how frequency can help enhance and improve sports performance. So I'm going to show you some slides and be talking you through various ways in which bioresonance can really help quite fundamentally in this area of sports. So I'm going to start with one of my favourite quotes by Nikola Tesla, which I've changed slightly. He said, if you want to discover the secrets of the universe, then think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. But I'm today going to say, if you want to discover the secrets of enhanced sports performance, then think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And this is really important because when a person becomes a high-end athlete, someone who's competing very highly, then it can be tempting. I know it's illegal, but it can be tempting to boost your muscle production and your resulting sports performance using drugs. Obviously, that's not a good thing to do. But people don't often know that there's other things that they can do. But of course, using frequency can hugely improve and enhance sports performance without any toxic residues, without any detrimental or harmful effects. It's totally legal. So if you know about which programs to play and which frequencies to work with, you could really significantly improve many aspects of sports performance in a totally above board way. So let's see some of what's possible here. Let's start by just thinking about some of the, if you like, ingredients that are really important in order to produce a good workout, a good intense physical exercise experience. So none of this is rocket science, but it's a good place to start. So first of all, we need optimal hydration. If your body isn't hydrated, you're not going to be able to run or do whatever you're doing as efficiently as you could. So it's important to be hydrated. We need to have optimal cellular energy. If you don't have enough energy in your body, if you're tired, if you're depleted, if you're recovering from illness, if you don't have enough energy, then you're not going to be able to do your workout as efficiently and effectively as you could otherwise. And what's more, if you haven't got the energy, you could actually push yourself over the edge. You could make yourself more depleted. You could be more prone to damaging parts of your body. So it's really important to have enough energy in your cells to be able to exercise. It's also important not just to go boom straight into the exercise, but to begin warming up your body. And depending on what exercise you're going to do, a warm up might look slightly different, but it's effective. It's important, sorry, to have some form of making that transition of warming up in preparation for what you're going to be doing. And then, of course, we need to sustain our energy whilst being engaged in the sports activity. We don't want our energy suddenly to disappear. We need to have it there available as a reserve tank, giving us a sustained stream of energy. And then we need to wind down and we need to recover from whatever the exercises we've been doing. Obviously, if you've done a very gentle meditative yoga class or a gentle short walk, you might not feel as if you need to wind down. But if you've been pumping iron at the gym for an hour and a half, yes, there'll be some important stages of winding down and enabling your body to recover. And in the case of having actually pushed a bit too much or gone a bit too far and tipped over into injuring yourself, we need to have some support to be able to recover and heal those injuries that might have been, or those parts of the body that might be injured or strained. And the great news is that bioresonance offers all of this. So let's have a look at how. So first of all, I'm going to just introduce this little device. It's called the Energy 11 device. Now, all the devices I'm going to offer you in this talk, they're all made by a company called Deta Elis. And Deta Elis is a global holistic electromagnetic frequency company that have been running for over 30 years. They've done a lot of research. They have clinical trials that they've made for their different products, and their products really work. At least this is my experience, and the research proves it. And what's lovely about this device, apart from the fact it's very small and can easily fit in a pocket or in your lycra leggings or whatever, it's lightweight, it's very easy to use. And whilst it has 11 programs for different forms of balancing, harmonizing, and optimization within your body, it has two programs which are all about energy. And these were designed with sports people in mind. So these are the two programs I'm going to suggest for now, would be really useful to work with. We have a shorter program which is called Energy Pro, and this was, as I say, designed for sports people to give them a quick boost. So whereas some people might have a boost from taking a steroid or something nasty, this will give you a boost of energy to help launch you into your activity. Whereas the energy program, which is 41 minutes, this gives you energy, but in a slightly more sustained way. Now, these are good programs actually for anyone to work with. So whether you're doing sporting activities or not, these are really invaluable programs to have just to keep our cellular voltage topped up. Because for most of us, we live life under stress, we have deadlines, we might not get enough sleep, we spend a lot of time at computers, and we might pick up a bug. Our energy levels are constantly being knocked against, and it's very easy for the electrical voltage in our cells to decrease, to get lost. So these programs will help anyone actually to build their energy. When we have enough energy, it has the effect of boosting the immune system and just giving us strength, giving us the ability to cope with life more. So playing one of these programs first thing in the morning, either Energy Pro or the Energy program, is a really great way to start the day. And you might find you don't need coffee then. But if you're about to go and engage with some sporting activity, then it would be great just to top up your energy levels. Either do the 9-minute quick Energy Pro, or if you've got more time, you might want to play the Energy program. But for many sports people, they'll do 1 or 2 cycles of Energy Pro, just have a bit of a boost. Now, another device, the Rhythm device, this is the device that does the work of recalibrating the healthy functioning of our organs, strengthening, enhancing, restoring optimal health to our organs and cells. This is a fantastic device with a whole set of programs, especially for sports performers. The programs in these devices are arranged in what's called complexes. It's a bit like a folder, and in that folder there's lots of different programs. And there's a folder or a complex called Sports Performers, which has lots of programs that are specifically and specially designed for sports people, both to help them warming up, to help sustain tissue strength and energy while working out, to help with that winding down, recovering process, and if necessary, to help recover and heal from any tissue trauma or injury. So the way this the way this device works is based on the scientific discoveries of various doctors and scientists like R. Foll, like Schimmel, like Kramer, and others. They all found that we could make powerful changes to our health by working with electromagnetic frequencies that matched the healthy frequencies of different parts of the body. So just briefly, what do I mean by that? Well, each part of our body has a healthy frequency, a frequency of electromagnetic oscillations. It has a particular energy field with a frequency to it. And our bones and our muscles and our ligaments, they will all have their own healthy frequency. But when we're tired, when we're stressed, when the body is affected by toxins and microorganisms or illness, then these frequencies become weakened. So they can't play out as strongly as they want to if we're being subjected to lots of stress or lots of toxins, etc. And so our organs, or in this case, muscles, bones, ligaments, they will become a little depleted. They won't work as well. They won't be so in balance. They won't be as strong. So the fantastic thing about the Rhythm device is that it can recreate the healthy rhythms of our bones, of our muscles, of our cartilages, of our synovial fluid, of our different organs, cells, body systems, and it can play those healthy frequencies back into the depleted parts of the body. So let's just say this is playing the frequency for healthy muscles because our muscles have tired out and depleted. The muscles will receive those frequencies and they'll go, oh, oh, I recognize that frequency. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, I can do this. And they'll begin to join in with their own frequency. And as they join in and continue to join in, their frequency will become strengthened until they can hold it on their own. So they'll go from having kind of metaphorically slightly forgotten what the strength of their frequency is to remembering it and being able to hold it. So we have this return to health. And this was the work that those people like Foll and Kramer came up with. And it's the basis for many, many bioresonance treatment devices around the world, including the Ritum. So let's have a look at some of the specific programs that might be useful. They're all contained within this complex or folder of programs for sports performers. So first we have a warming up program. It's an hour and 50 minutes. And you might think, well, I don't really need that. I can just go and do a bit of stretching or a bit of whatever I do to warm up. But if you think about it, in this day and age, many people will spend a lot of the day sitting at a computer working and not moving very much. And those same people will then often go to the gym in the evening in order to move. So we have a big transition from relative staticity to relative active, intense movement. And that's not so easy on the body. It's not the healthiest thing to do. And in many ways, more and more people, unless they're kind of competing athletes and that their work is to be involved with obviously movement forms and exercise, for many people, there's this transition that needs to be made and it needs to be navigated well in order to avoid stress and strain. So we need to kind of waken up our muscle tissues, our connective tissues. We need to get our synovial fluid within our joint structures moving and becoming more thin and fluid. We need to literally get our body motivated and prepared for the actual workout we want to do. And this is what this warming up program does. It helps the body move from a tired state to a more energized, awake state. It helps increase the metabolic processes within the muscles. It helps make the training more effective. So a brilliantly useful program. Maybe you've played the energy program earlier in the day or just before, and then you play this warming up program in preparation for what you're going to do. And then whilst you're doing whatever you're going to do, there is a program, it's just over 2 hours, and it's called Workout. And this is designed, as you might assume, to increase muscle strength, to help relieve muscle fatigue and soreness. Really importantly, to improve blood and oxygen to supply to the muscles, to increase endurance, and through doing all of that, to enable you to achieve the maximum results in terms of exercise with minimum stress on the body. So hopefully you don't end up hobbling out of the door afterwards because you've done too much. Your body's really been working with you and all these metabolic processes, etc., have been working optimally. And then when you've finished your training, there's this other transition to wind down and to ensure that you don't end up with lactic acid buildup and muscle burn and soreness and these sorts of things or levels of kind of micro damage. So this is a really important program following intense exercise. It's called Recovery After Training and it's a bit longer. It's 3 hours. So you might put this on after you've been to the gym or wherever and just play this for the rest of the day. So you use it after your activity rather than during. So when you're exercising, your metabolism is stimulated, and this can easily lead to a buildup of metabolites in the body, which can result in slightly unpleasant situations like muscle burn, like aching muscles, tired muscles, like waking up the next day and being very sore and stiff. and can also lead, if you're exercising at least, this can lead unknowingly to little tiny micro injuries within the structure of muscles or connective tissue. And the other thing that people often don't take into account is that exercise also puts an increased strain on the autonomic nervous system. So the autonomic nervous system is the part of your nervous system that switches between fight and flight mode, thinking your life is endangered, and rest and digest mode, which is about chilling out and relaxing. And of course, if you're doing a lot of fast running or you're pushing yourself, your autonomic nervous system goes, oh my goodness, I must be in danger. There's a lion coming to get me. I've got to run for my life. Or it thinks that that running you're doing is a part of escaping from danger. So it can put quite a strain on the nervous system, and we don't always wind down from that. So the body can stay in this heightened state of, am I all right? Am I in danger? Is life safe here? Better keep the adrenaline flowing just in case. So to help with all of these situations, we have this recovery after training program. It's designed to relieve muscle fatigue, to help eliminate any residual metabolic products to avoid those muscle sorenesses and muscle burn, to bring the autonomic nervous system back into balance. So coming out of sympathetic fight and flight mode, coming back to a more balanced, relaxed mode. And also to encourage optimal recovery following the exercise. So it's a really nice, gentle, but profound program to help you recover. So if you're doing a lot of exercise that involves pushing and forcing and going beyond where you can easily go, do think of this program as something that will be very useful. Then we have various specialized programs that are designed if you have gone over into strain or injury from the exercise you're doing. And one is focusing on muscles, on muscle pain. You might have pulled a muscle or strained a muscle. And this program is called Muscles Without Pain. So very simple name. It's best part of 2 hours long. Muscles Without Pain. Again, you'd use it after your exercise if you feel you've pulled something. So this is designed to help muscles recover after exercise. It helps relieve muscle spasms, so take away some of the tension, reduce muscle pain, again, improve the blood supply to the muscles, which means the muscles are getting more nutrients and more oxygen, and to increase the elasticity of muscle fibers. So all of these things are really important to help your muscles get back to normal, healthy functioning. So quite a useful program to have and to know about. We've also got programs that are more aimed at bones, not solely bones, but the structures of joints. So bone, ligament, cartilage, muscles around joints, all the kind of joint tissues, the synovial membranes. Now, this program I'm going to recommend is a big long one. It's 5 hours, 23 minutes. And the reason it's big and long is because this is what's called an automatic program. And that simply means it's combining 3 shorter programs together as one big bumper one. Now, you could, in this sports performer folder of programs, you could find each of these individual programs and play them as shorter programs. But I think it's quite nice to cover all aspects of joint health by playing this big bumper automatic program. So it combines 3 programs. One's called Joints Without Pain, one's called Joints Without Inflammation, and the other's called Healthy Joints. As I say, you could play just one of those as a separate program if you wanted. And jointly, this very comprehensive program aims to relieve inflammation and pain from joints or from within the spine, to improve blood supply and nutrition to the joints, to promote the restoration of damaged joint tissue. And this includes the articular cartilages, the synovial membranes, ligaments, tendons, muscles, and any other surrounding tissue. So really useful program to play if you feel you have any form of joint strain or congestion or injury. And the last program that I'm going to recommend actually isn't found in the sports performers complex. It's found in one of the other complexes. Off the top of my head, I think it's called General List of Programs 2. And it's a brilliant program. I believe it used to be called the Trauma Program, and now it's called Recovery from Injuries. So this is, again, if you've had serious injury, there's trauma to your tissues. So it's not just a little strain. There's some trauma there, and you need some strong, profound help. Now, obviously, if you really damage yourself, or you break a bone, or you have some big injury, do what you need. Go to A&E, go to the doctor, get the help you need. Don't just think, oh, I've broken my leg, but I'm going to play this program and all will be well. Be sensible about it. But use this program whilst you're having your leg x-rayed and put in plaster, and use it for the days and weeks to come, because it will seriously help. At least this is my experience, having used it myself, and others as well. It will seriously help with the healing process. So it's designed to be used in the case of injuries, and it offers an anaesthetizing effect. So that's good if you hurt yourself, isn't it? An anti-inflammatory effect and a regenerating or healing effect. It can be used to help with injuries to bones, cartilage, ligaments, and soft tissue. For example, for fractures, for bruising, for dislocations, for different cuts or wounds. And it's designed to accelerate the healing process, reduce pain, reduce swelling, stop bleeding, and restore muscle elasticity. So it's a really important program. And of course, this is a program that could be useful in everyday life. It doesn't have to be that you've injured yourself from intense sports. In everyday life, we might have an accident, our children, our families might injure themselves or have some sort of accident or break a bone. I myself used this to great success last year when I, on holiday, was walking over an old train track, and I fell, and the sharp metal right angle corner of the train track was where I fell, and one of my knees and one of my elbows went straight into the corner, and it was really painful. I felt as if I must have broken my bones. There was a lot of kind of weak, wobbly compression feeling, and pain and swelling, and I was actually quite frightened about it. So I quickly got my Ritum device. I was struggling to walk. I couldn't put any weight on my leg, or use my arm. I put on the Ritum device and I played this program back to back as much as I could through the night. So whenever I woke up, I put it on again, and I played it through the day, and over the following days until I got back to England, because I was abroad at the time. And it was really amazing, the effect. I went to bed kind of barely being able to hobble into bed. And when I woke up in the morning, I could stand, I could put weight on my knee, I could walk. And I thought, oh, what's happened here? I could feel it was a bit delicate, but it was hugely better. The swelling had gone. I expected lots of black and blue and yellow colouring to come out in my knee and elbow, but actually there wasn't any. And when I went to a cranial osteopath that I sometimes work with here, to check that my joint structure hadn't been moved out of place or affected, he said he could feel how incredibly deep the injury was that I had. And he couldn't work out why I didn't have bruising and swelling, and why my joints were working so well. He was absolutely astounded at the degree of healing that had happened, although he could feel the residues of a very deep trauma. He said, I can't believe that this has happened without your bones being broken. He would have expected with an injury like that I would have been in A&E with a broken something or other. So personally, I can really testify to the positive results from this program. So a great program to have up your sleeve, whether you're exercising or whether you're at home with your family. Now, this is a little bit about using the mini devices in terms of sport and exercise, but there are a few other ways in which we can continue to optimize our sporting performance to get the best out of our bodies. And this is to use some of the other support products that Deta Elis has made to go along with the work of these mini devices. So I'm just going to spend a few moments just briefly touching in on another frequency support device and a couple of others. So we're going to start with one of Deta Elis's smart cell nutrition range of what they call Delixirs. Now, these are like very delicious health tonics, and they're organic, they're sugar-free, and they're designed to be highly absorbable, very easily absorbable to your cells. So the nutrition goes straight into your cells rather than having to go through a conversion process to be benefited from. And one of the 6 Delixia tonics they make is aimed at sports people. It's called Top Form. And as you can see here, it's designed to improve performance efficiency, to maintain metabolism, to keep the body in a state of regeneration. And we'll see a bit more as we go on here. So, as I was saying, yes, it's designed to promote general body enhancement and improve performance efficiency, to help with skin and muscle tone and healthy cell growth, to provide quicker recovery both after illness and intense sporting activities or exercises. It's also protecting our DNA, and more importantly, it's there to support athletes or other categories of people with increased energy requirements. So, for instance, elderly people need more energy. So this is sometimes used by elderly people, but also very much by athletes and sports people. It's going to contribute to muscle growth and muscle strength. It's also going to help maintain normal blood glucose levels, keep the immune system nice and fit. It's going to help recovery after intense physical exercise. So it'll be boosting the work of the rhythm device. It's also restoring energy levels and helping sustain energy levels. So generally a good all-round little tonic that tastes delicious. It tastes of tangerines that you could add into your daily routine. It's full of vitamins and herbs. If you did want to take this, one bottle will last you 33 days, so just after over a month. And that on the top there is a little measuring cup which will measure out 15 ml, and you simply take 15 ml in the morning. You can take it as a shot, it's very delicious, or you can mix it into water, fruit juice, yogurt, put it in a smoothie, put it on your muesli, or anything else that you care to do. So that's a little bit about Top Form as one of the support products that Deta Elis make. And this is another. I've got this here. This is called the Diaqua bottle. And it's a portable bottle. You can see how big it is there against my hand. And it has some magic properties. It has the ability to hydrogenate water or to ozonate water. And the hydrogen aspect of this, the work to hydrogenate water, is particularly useful for people doing exercise because hydrogen-rich water will enhance or has the potential to enhance your sporting performance in a number of ways. And the nice thing about hydrogen is it's very easy to get information about what it does. The internet is literally littered with research data from the hundreds, literally, of research studies and trials that have been done around the effects of hydrogen water. And there's many studies there specifically in relation to exercise and sports and hydrogen-rich water. So I'm going to share a few of those with you. These were what some of those trials and studies have shown have been significantly improved by drinking hydrogen water. And some of these are really relevant to sporting. So here, hydrogen-rich water will enable a faster recovery from physical workouts. It will reduce fatigue. So these are things we want as sports people. It will improve blood circulation. Great, we need that if we're doing lots of sporting activity. It will protect your cells from damage. Well, that's great because we need our cells to be in a state of regeneration, not degeneration, if we're putting extra physical demands on them through exercise. We want toxins to be removed. We want to carry out all those waste products that our musculoskeletal system are producing so that we don't suffer with them. It improves joint mobility. Well, fantastic, because we're using all the joints in our body to exercise. And it's also going to enhance mitochondrial function. So that's fantastic because we want our mitochondria to be working well. We want to have as much energy as possible in our cells so that we can use that energy for activity. So let's have a little bit more look at some of the benefits. How does hydrogen water really enhance sports performance? Well, there's some very specific things it does. There's many, many things it does that will help in lots of ways, but these are some of the specific things it does to help with physical exercise. So hydrogen water will reduce oxidative stress. Oxidative stress causes our cells to degenerate. And that is a result of the work of free radicals. Now, interestingly, intense physical activity produces free radicals, and this leads to muscle fatigue, muscle damage, and inflammation. But the molecular hydrogen can easily go into our cells, penetrate the cells, and remove and neutralize the free radicals so that our cells stay healthy in regeneration mode rather than degeneration mode. So what does that mean? You may or may not know about free radicals. So very briefly, very simply, here is an atom, a healthy, stable atom. It has a center, and around it, circling, we have pairs of electrons. So you can see they're in pairs here. There's two here. And that means that the cell stays healthy. However, free radicals are atoms that have an unpaired electron. So there's a missing electron. And in order that the free radical can gain strength and can do what it wants to do, which adversely affects our cells, it needs to steal an electron from a healthy cell, from a healthy atom. So this free radical might come along and pinch one of these atoms to make it stable itself, which would then make the healthy atom unstable and prone to degeneration. However, if we look at this picture, if we're drinking hydrogen-rich water, hydrogen, as an antioxidant, has spare atoms, so it can simply give an atom to the free radical to fill this gap here. And then the free radical doesn't have to pinch anything from our healthy cells. So it's really quite simple. The more antioxidants we have, the more free radicals we can neutralize by giving these extra electrons to. And then we stay as healthy as possible. And in the case of someone doing exercise, we will be less prone to muscle damage, muscle fatigue, and inflammation. So that's brilliant, isn't it? So that's point number one. So point number two about how hydrogen water helps sports people. Well, it improves mitochondrial function. Hydrogen really supports what's called mitochondrial bioenergetics. So it enhances the production of energy within the cell and enables the body to take up as much oxygen as possible. Luckily, hydrogen can really easily penetrate our cells and go straight to the mitochondria to help support them and support their activity. And that's because it is very, very small. Here's a molecule of hydrogen. Look how tiny it is in relation to other antioxidants. So substances like vitamin C and vitamin E and these other things here, they're all antioxidants, but their molecules are huge, they're much, much bigger, so they can't get into the cell's mitochondria so easily. So with hydrogen water, we get this very quick, very immediate kind of energizing effect within our cells, partly due to its molecular size. So some other ways that hydrogen water helps. Well, hydrogen water lowers blood lactate. So this will help reduce lactic acid concentrations. So basically, by improving energy efficiency at a cellular level, hydrogen-rich water supplementation has been shown to reduce lactic acid concentrations during both aerobic and anaerobic activity. And this delays tiredness, sense of fatigue within our cells. Hydrogen water also mitigates inflammation. So it helps decrease inflammatory markers that exercise induces, things like interleukins. And as a result, this can lead to a reduction in the perception of being sore or achy, and it can speed up muscular repair. So all of these things are really useful. We want all of this to be happening if we're to do effective exercise and to be able to exercise each day or regularly to the best of our ability. And then another way, which is just very simple thinking, really, very logical, hydrogen water provides better hydration, especially in hot weather, also in cold weather, but especially in the heat where we need more hydration. If you're exercising, you'll be perspiring more, you'll be losing more fluids, your electrolyte balance will potentially be going off, and you simply need more water. So why not have water that's enhanced with hydrogen, which will hydrate you, but also give you all these other benefits of less muscle soreness and more energy, etc., etc. So research suggests that if you're drinking hydrogen-rich water, especially if it's cold on a hot day, this is going to help mitigate the stress of heat stress, and dehydration, which of course improves your endurance when exercising, especially if in hot environments. So basically, we need to drink 1.5, 2 litres of water anyway each day. Why not drink hydrogenated water? It's going to boost you in all these other ways and improve your overall health, never mind your performance when engaged with sports. So in summary, hydrogen water enhances sports performance primarily by acting as an antioxidant and a cell signaling molecule that reduces oxidative stress. It also decreases lactic acid buildup, brilliant, and accelerates post-exercise recovery. It allows athletes to maintain high intensity output for longer periods and to bounce back faster in between strenuous workouts. How fabulous is that? And the recommendation for athletes is before you exercise to drink 200 to 400, I mean, that's not so much, mils of hydrogen-rich water. This bottle holds 450, so you could just swig a bottle of this. Do that 15 to 20 or 15 to 30 minutes before your workout to help hydrate your system, to energize your cells, and to prepare your body to manage any oxidative stress that your muscles might create. And then after you've exercised, drink some more, hydrogenate another bottle and drink that to help rehydrate you, control the inflammation if any is on its way, and to help your muscles recover quicker. And one of the lovely things about this bottle is that you can choose 2 different strengths of hydrogen. So for everyday use, you might just press the button to signal the bottle to make hydrogen for 5 minutes. So you'd have a basic amount of hydrogen in the water to drink. But if you are feeling tired, if you're feeling below par, if you're feeling weak, if you need more energy, if you feel like you need a boost, if you need help recovering, you're going to press the button in a different way to hydrogenate the water for 10 minutes. And this will give you that post-workout boost and help you recover in all the ways that I've been talking about. So it's a really natty little bottle to have. Again, personally, I think everyone should have one of these because there's so many health-giving properties wherever, sorry, the heat is making me fall over my words, regardless of whether you're an athlete or not. Okay, so what I haven't mentioned is that you can make hydrogen water, but you can also make ozone water that you can use for disinfecting and cleaning or washing your fruit and veg. And obviously, if you have an injury, if you fall over and graze your knee, you want to disinfect that. So making ozone water with this bottle can be a really useful thing to keep everything clean and free from bacteria or infection. You can also, if you want an extra boost, you can turn the bottle into a nebulizer, as you see this woman in the picture on the right doing, and you can simply breathe in pure molecular hydrogen, which will clear your mind, nourish your brain, and help de-stress and calm the body. And if you are out and about and you don't want to take the glass bottle with you, you can unscrew the glass, and with one of the attachments that comes with this, you can attach the base to a big mineral water bottle. So you might be on holiday or out at a sporting event and you might buy a bottle of mineral water. You can attach it to the base and hydrogenate the whole lot. So it's quite versatile. There's a lot of things you can do with this bottle. And of course, if you have the energy device or the rhythm device that I mentioned, you can also program your water with the frequencies of some of the programs in the devices. So you could program your water with energy by playing the energy or the energy pro program whilst having the device against the bottle, and the water would be structured with those frequencies, and you'd have an even stronger effect then. And lastly, one of the other frequency products that Deta Elis create are products called the Dematrix biocorrective frequency pendants. Now, these are little pendants that you can wear around your neck, or you can just stick in a sock or a bra or inside your leggings or something like that. And they all have different properties. They're designed to support different areas of health, different parts of your body. But there's one in particular that can be useful, again, if you're doing a lot of exercise, just to keep your joint health topped up, especially if you don't have the rhythm device. And it's a Dematrix pendant called Healthy Joints. It's this one. So you might be thinking, well, what is a Dematrix pendant? Well, it's a very clever pendant. You can see it here. You can get an idea of the size and what it looks like. Inside this pendant shell, the Healthy Joints pendant contains different, if you like, ingredients. So it has specific combinations of herbal preparations, of homeopathic preparations, and homeopathic nosodes. It's also programmed with specific frequencies from the AP and the rhythm device. So there are bioresonance frequencies programmed in there to help support your joints. And then the casing itself is engraved with two different sacred geometry patterns, this one on one side and a different one on the other side. And the idea is that all of these together create a very potent energy field, which when you have this against your skin will blend with your energy field. And it's designed to, in a more background way, a gentle way, support your joints, offering an anti-inflammatory, pain-relieving effect. It's designed to help regenerate connective tissue, to reduce the pathogenic load on your musculoskeletal system, and to aid with problems within joints or the spine. Obviously, it's not going to be anywhere near as powerful as one of the bioresonance devices, but it's going to give this gentle background support. And many people swear by these pendants. The joint one I find is a bit of a bestseller. Lots of people find it incredibly useful. But obviously, if you've got some really challenging condition, if you've got rheumatoid or arthritis or something like that, wearing a pendant isn't going to heal that. You are going to need to work with the bioresonance devices. But as a sports person, just wanting to keep your joints topped up whilst you do what you do, this could be another really advantageous product to work with. And on the devices, you might be busy playing other programs to support those other things, warm-ups and workouts, etc. So it's a great addition to have. And the reality is, whilst any of these products has the potential to help enhance your physical activity and the experience of doing that, and your body endurance for exercising, of course, if you combine them, you're going to have the best possible outcome. So there is a package called the Ultimate Fitness Package, which now allows you to buy all of these products that I've talked about for 10% less. So you make quite a significant savings. And if that's of interest to you, you can look on my website, bioresonancegb.com. And on the website, there's a tab called eShop, and you can go to the eShop and buy these. Or you can find on the products page, you can find this package and press the buy now button. And again, it will take you through to the relevant page on the eShop, which is here. And you can make use of these savings. So that brings us to the end of this talk. But of course, I'm very aware everyone has their specific needs. People might have specific questions. So please get in contact if you'd like to know more, if you'd like to discuss your needs or any of these products, or you'd like to explore working with some of them, get in contact and I will help and support you and give you more information. So thank you so much for attending this talk, and I hope it's been insightful and useful to you. Do look out for other talks that I've given. I've got lots of bioresonance talks about different products and different aspects of bioresonance. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this talk, look out for some of those others on YouTube.